Welcome to our live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BP TV studio. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. How about this? Smoking Jim Frazier got me a birthday cake. He remembered it's on June 30th. Thank you, my brother Stevie Wonder. And we had Chip Hayner here. Smoking Jim, a.k.a. Stevie Wonder. We got Jack and Zach supposed to be in. So we're ready to do our show. We got some sports for you. It looks like little Zach's in here.
Little Z's in the house.
He showed up. We'll have to share some cake with him. As you can tell, we devoured half of that cake, thanks to Smoking Jim Frazier. All right, I got some promos. First, we got to thank. Can you get the camera on this, guys? Yeah, you're on it there. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Thanks, Zach. Tune that in a little, buddy. Nice seeing you. Get a slice of cake. 412-831-1900. They sponsor our show with a pizza and a hoagie, and we enjoy both. Plus, we got cake to enjoy, too. Delicious.
Right next to Ray Ray's.
Next up, stay Joey Strong. We end each show with Joey Strong. He died before his 9th birthday with brain cancer, DIPG. His family has raised over $100,000 to try to find a cure. They do different events. They just had a flea market just the other day. They're going to have their 5K, one mile walk in September at the high school, so stay tuned for that. And stay Joey Strong. Next, the Bethel Park Historical Society, a 501c3. They're located 2600 South Park Road. They rent out different offices and places there. There's a new coffee place that I get my green tea, Reginald's Coffee. They're open from about 7 till 2 each day. Check out their schedule, their website, Reginald's Coffee. You can't beat it. Great green tea. Next, Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. Excuse me. Go to bpcf.org. Get their application from $100 to $5,000. They'll consider grant requests that will help your group and the community of Bethel Park. So check that out, bpcf.org. Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. If you see my face, Uncle Al wants you. He had me looking like Uncle Sam. I want you for BPTV. You could be like the Zach and Jack team here from Bethel Park. They run the show right now, the audio, video, fine-tune the cameras. 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable Uncle Al sent you from BPTV, Pittsburgh Sportsline. We want you as a volunteer here. You can do shows in the studio, on location. And by the way, Bethel Park's having their 4th of July on the 29th. So Saturday night, I'll be doing interviews with vendors and things at Millennium Park. They're going to have fireworks. They got a band you may have heard of, No Bad Juju, will be playing. Last year it was great. They're great, so check it out. Smoking Jim, as Stevie Wonder wants to know what the heck's going on. I invited him to come out. I'll start interviewing people between 6 and 8 and thank the vendors for coming out, and there should be a good crowd like there was last year. But fireworks will be shot off at Millennium Park. Check it out. Next, we're sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeet Service Station. What's on your mind? He works on anything and everything that runs on gas. He just fixed my car yesterday, had a nice buffet. I also saw the Pittsburgh drivetrain. They had a drivetrain that came in, their first one of the year. So they got Pittsburgh drivetrains there. Check it out. They got a forge, they got a milling machine, you name it, they got it. Anything and everything that runs on gas, just give them a call. 724-348-4715. Tell them the talking machine sent you to get your car or truck or boat or weed whacker worked on. Check it out. Now we start our show with What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Don't break
you
it.
got the C, Levine. My high school quarterback option days.
What year was that?
Uh-oh. Chip ahoy, Chip ahoy.
There, come on.
But
I just got some good sun today, Smoking Jim. Look at how that looks on camera with this orange shirt.
It looks great. Me and Chip are looking good in our black and gold. And, hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, congratulations on another birthday, man. And
Thank you.
Another trip around the sun.
Hold it.
Huh?
Unlike Smoking Jim, I'll be 63 years old
I can't
on
believe
June
it.
30th.
I can't
You
believe
mean
it.
63 years young.
Well, whatever
See,
you want to call
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah. We can argue about it, but I'll be 63.
No argument. No argument.
And like I always say, birthdays only come twice a year. But
Smoking Jim has been concussed so many times, I don't even argue with him anymore. Look, he looks like Stevie Wonder, thinks he looks like Muhammad Ali. He's about 6 inches shorter than Muhammad Ali and about 100 pounds heavier. But other than that, he looks like Stevie Wonder to me.
And he floats like a butterfly.
that's it. That's it.
Stings like a bee.
But
What's on your mind, Smoking?
what's on my mind is anytime I can get white cake with white icing.
Here,
bro,
have
I
another
want that.
scoop. You need another scoop?
No, I'm good, man. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, thanks for having my back today. I'm a couple days behind on getting back to my calls, but I heard that Joe Board got in touch with you.
He did.
We're playing phone tag, one side of the phone. But
I got this request on Facebook. Joe Board goes, "Can you send me your number?" I send it, and I figure he's going to call me. He called, and we talked for about 5 or 10 minutes before he went to his doctor's appointment.
Okay.
Everything's okay. He's healthy, just a checkup.
Good.
We never even mention your name because I always tell him, if you want to do business, do not talk to Smoking Jim Frazier. His boxing gym will be guest on July 15th at the Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. We'll talk about that on location later on. But it was nice talking to Joe. He's just a great guy. We always have a good time talking.
And I tell you what, man, today was a great day for me. I had a meeting today with the executive board of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame Western Pennsylvania chapter for the position of executive board for diversity. And
How could they even put you in there?
I tell you what, man, it's just a huge honor for old country boy from Monroeville. And
Now you're a country boy.
the place been around for like 50 years, and I mean they've been doing it for 50 years, and I've been excited. And I tell you what, I went to a couple of their events and didn't even realize that it was one of their events. It's just so humble and outstanding. But what's on my mind is the top 10 heavyweights in boxing today. And I'll go from number 10 on down. How about Luis Ortiz? Guy that floated on a raft from Cuba to get here. Tough heavyweight when he ain't on steroids. I can't pronounce this brother from Africa, but I'll just say Efe, E-F-E.
Efi alphabet.
Alphabet. I got him there.
Thanks, Chip.
Then I got a Russian, Alex Provechkin, at number 8. How about number 7, Dillian White? He's a black guy, but he's
No way.
Yeah.
How could you bring the
Tough.
race into this?
23-1, 17 KOs.
And you're in the diversity, and you brought the race card up.
Some people might have thought he was white.
No.
So number
What's
6,
his first name again?
Dillian.
Okay, thanks.
And number 6,
Just checking with you.
Joseph Parker. How about number
Hold
5?
it. What color is Joseph Parker?
Joseph Parker, light skinned. I guess that's still black, isn't it?
Must be using sunblock.
No.
How about the guy? He's on my list, even though he's suspended.
Of course.
Big Baby Miller, 20-0-1 with 18 KOs. How about Number 4, he got to be there. The great one, Andy Ruiz, made a record. The first Mexican-born fighter to win the heavyweight championship of the world. Only problem is he was born in California. So how you work that out? I don't even know he's ever been to Mexico. His dad got a business in the United States. But anyhow, they'll tell you anything. I mean, you're not going to...
Maybe he's not a citizen.
Well, there's no wall to keep him from getting back and forth.
Yeah, that's true.
He might not be a citizen.
That's true.
Is he a citizen?
And I've never met a Mexican.
Is he an American?
Yeah.
Or is he Mexican?
He's American. He was born
Did he
in
say
California.
it? Did he say it?
No, I don't believe nothing come out of his mouth when they say that when he was born in California. But I've never met a Mexican 270 pounds. Maybe it's that good food in California.
Well, you don't know many of them.
Huh?
You don't know many of them.
A lot of pizza in California, not much of that in Mexico.
When have you been to California last?
Huh?
When were you last there?
I love San Diego.
When were you there?
It's been a minute. But number 3.
In other words, folks, it's over 15 years.
Yeah, that's probably right. Number 3, Deontay Wilder. At number 3. Number 2, Tyson Fury. 6'9" gypsy. Love the way he fights. Got a lot of boxing skills that you see in black fighters.
Really?
Tough guy.
What color's he?
He's a white guy.
Okay.
I think he's number 2 in the world. And I think number 1, even though he's coming off a loss, Anthony Joshua. You name me a great fighter other than Floyd Patterson who lost back-to-back fights. I think Ruiz is in trouble when Anthony Joshua gets him again.
What did Big Baby get suspended for?
Steroids. And sleeping with steroids and sleeping with other people's wives.
At the same
I don't know
time.
if you could get suspended for that, but he does a lot of that.
Smoking Jim with the inside scoop on the heavyweight division.
I have no respect for that.
Take your glasses off and say that, will you? Thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind after that?
No, you know, Jim, you're a tough act to follow, my friend. All right, first off, congratulations, Jim Rutherford, elected into the NHL Hall of Fame today. He'll be inducted in October in Toronto.
Smoking Jim's just
well deserving. He took 2 franchises to the Stanley Cup in the last time. Took the Penguins to back-to-back Cup, which everybody said was a feat that couldn't be done.
Right.
In the salary cap era.
In the modern era here.
But hey, what's on my mind? How about a U, an S, and an A? USA women's soccer team is dominating the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. Now, so far, the American team is 4-0. They have given up 1 goal, and they've scored 20.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. They had a little bit of a nail-biter yesterday.
Yeah.
And they play France on
I still cannot
Friday.
watch it. I was painting my bathroom again.
And
my son got the soccer game on, and he goes, Dad, come and watch this game.
Tell you
so
what,
I sat down for 20 minutes. Nobody scored.
Well, you know,
20 minutes.
I'm not going to say
Then it was
anything.
30 minutes. Then it was 40 minutes. But no, I can't take anything away from them. I'm proud of the USA.
The first game, they scored 13 goals against Thailand. The next 2 games, they won 3-0 and 3-0.
Wow.
And I watched the game. What was it? Not this past Sunday, the Sunday before. And you know, they're playing an amazing ball control offense, not getting the other team a chance to get the ball into their end. They played against Spain the other day, and
They're very strategic. I'll tell you that much.
They gave the Americans all they could handle. The Americans are the odds-on favorite to win the Women's World Cup. They've won 3 of them so far, and they are the defending World Cup champions. So if you've got the time and you happen to be near a TV set, Jared, watch it. You'll really enjoy it. There's a lot of controversy going on about this and that and the other thing, and one of the biggest controversies surrounding the World Cup is equal pay, because the women don't make as much money as the men do, but, you know, they'll figure a way of working it out, because soccer, whether Jim believes it or not, is the most watched sport in the world.
Really?
Where you know, you watch the Super Bowl.
He'll contest that.
Well, you'll watch the Super Bowl, and there'll be 130 million or so television viewers. Well, when you watch soccer, it's in the billions. That's an extra 3 zeros at the end, and it's pretty incredible. And I'm not a soccer fan. I will never sit with lack of anything better to do and watch a soccer game. But I will watch the United States men's team and the United States women's teams in the World Cup. I do support our country, and if you get a chance, watch it. We have made it to the quarterfinals. France is the host country for this year's tournament, and France has a team that might give the Americans a little run for their money, but the Americans are pretty well focused, and by far, so far, they've been heads and shoulders above all the rest, but that's what's on my mind this week.
Can I ask one question before you go to LV, the taco machine? Now, you said you support our country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you support our president?
Next question.
Okay, but I got a question.
This is a non-political show,
I know,
so
but
you're out of order, Stevie.
Stevie,
you're out of order.
Because I stand behind all of our presidents. They were our leader. President Trump's our leader.
We're not even talking.
But here's the question. Here's the question. Have you ever seen President Trump's father or seen any articles on his dad? I haven't.
Yes.
You've seen his dad before?
I have not seen his dad. I've read some articles about him, how he's an immigrant from Germany.
But he wasn't in it. They were just talking about, but you've never
I've seen pictures of him, yes. I've seen pictures
You have?
of him. Yes.
Okay, you're the only one.
Well, because I read, Jim. See?
Smoking Jim, I've read about him for years because he took over his dad's business in New York.
But I heard his dad gave him $1 million or $20 million to get started, but I've never seen his.
Well, he lost a lot of that too. He went bankrupt about
Jim,
8 times.
If you read a little bit, the world is your oyster.
None of the brothers in the barber shop, they've never seen him. Maybe they ain't reading too.
All I can say is they were all seen wearing Stevie Wonder sunglasses. That's why I question the validity of that. They did not see anything.
And if you have problems reading, just increase the size of the font.
Or, like my grandmother used to do, get a magnifying glass out.
Grandma used to do that?
Yeah, when she got older, she had a magnifying glass. She'd bring it out and read the magazines and everything else.
Wow.
You could do that. It may help you once you take the sunglasses
was
off.
More popular then.
Smoking Jim, no comment, buddy. That question's off the record. No politics, just sports, folks. Sorry he went off the reservation, but you all know Smoking Jim Frazier. He can't hold a good man down. Thanks, Chip Hayner. Appreciate that. What's on my mind, excuse me, is Buccos. I saw a great game Sunday, and it was rare that something like this would happen. They were down 3 runs in the 9th inning. They tied the game. Then the 11th inning, they're down 3 runs again.
Wow.
They won the game. What a gritty team. I've talked about it a few times. I don't care if bottom line Bob owns a team, and he got rid of Kutch, and he got rid of who's that other pitcher? I forget who it is.
Garrett Cole.
You know, I forget his name.
The interesting thing is, tonight, on the Pirates roster, are all 4 players that they traded for Garrett Cole, and they're playing Major League Baseball right now.
Maybe they know something, Chip. You might be on to something with leave bottom line Bob alone, let him make his money, and they'll put a team out there that's gritty and competitive, and they're not paying him top wages for the next 3 to 5 years. So how can you go wrong with that, Smoking Jim Frazier? Go Buccos, and we'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. I can't wait to hear this week.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner. My main man, Jack, is in the bag. How about Sammy? Sammy the Bull, the boxer, is here.
Yeah.
And my favorite of all time, Little Z, Zach Taylor, is back from vacation. But one thing I can say before I get to fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac, I know Garrett Cole was happy he's not still pitching the contact.
You know,
He's leading the league in strikeouts now.
Do you even know what that means?
That 98
Wait a minute.
mile-an-hour fastball, he's striking them out.
Do you know what that means?
They want him to throw sliders and get some contact. And,
Do you even know what that means? That's what I thought. He's not going to answer me, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop.
all I know is it didn't work. But anyhow, I'm glad he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. Now he's not pitching the contact.
He's on his way to free agency. You know what his record is right now?
Oh, he's the best in the league.
No, what's his record?
6-5.
6-5, but he's leading the league in strikeouts.
So what?
he's
134. That's all right.
Don't you get paid to win games?
It's a team.
Where's your talk about winning?
Oh.
He's 6-5. He's one game over 500. Smoking, Jim. Come back to reality.
Cooperstown, hold the ball.
Whatever helium you're breathing, come back down.
Stop
Come
chiseling.
down. I'll
Stop
bring you back
chiseling.
down, buddy.
Just stop chiseling his
He's
bust.
7-5.
6-5.
He'll win tonight.
He's going to be pitching batting practice tonight. Josh
Yeah.
Bell's going to take him deep. Mark my words.
Wow, I like to see that.
Well, you'd have to watch more than 3 innings.
Catch the highlights. But hey, with Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac, again, it was a huge honor to meet with some very distinguished men who's part of the executive board for the PA Sports Hall of Fame, Western chapter. I was really too busy to join until I found out that this organization was unique in terms of Hall of Fames. They're the only Hall of Fame. Every Hall of Fame, you had to play a varsity sport. It had to be a varsity sport. This Hall of Fame they're going to allow me to induct boxers, the Gold Glove boxers from Western Pennsylvania. So that sealed the deal for me, so I'm all in. I'm going to need your help, Al Levine, the talking machine, and
Okay.
Chipper, to get some of our boxing guys. I'm thinking Staggerwall right off the bat first. He got to come with a
Hold
tag
it.
because
What
I'm
about
diversity.
Pittsburgh Sportsline?
Huh?
What about Pittsburgh Sportsline for Mr. Staggerwald?
Yeah. I got to get. He's not in that yet, huh? We got to get him in.
You've been telling him you were thinking of him. I said I would work on it. You heard it here first, folks.
We gotta
Rick
get him in.
Steigerwald.
He's been wanted him to get that concussion baseline going.
He has it
first.
going. They can't get yours because yours is off the charts.
But
Thanks,
my
Smoking.
Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Now I'm officially part of this. To me, it's the greatest Hall of Fame in the state right now
Because you're part of it.
because I'm part of it, and it's at the Sheridan Hotel every year. And brother, I get a group discount rate on that night, so I'll be staying there. But
Can I come visit you in your room?
hey, in 2018, I did a story for the Pittsburgh Courier on their event, and I didn't realize it was their event. And here's some of the people that went in that night. They usually only put 10 in every year. You guys may have heard of some of these guys. In 2018, I was there to see, well, I left early.
Of course.
But the food was good. But Chuck Burkhart was
Yeah.
there. How about Sean Casey went in for baseball?
The mayor.
The mayor.
Mayor of Upper St. Clair.
Here's one you guys never heard of. Chip might have after this weekend. Dr. John Cunningham, soccer coach. Here's one. How about the New Orleans Pelicans? Swin Cash went in that night.
From McKeesport.
Yeah, that's the reason I had to do a story on her. But
Is she black?
she's black, but my story was only a small piece of Swin Cash.
What piece?
Of course, I was trying to get a date. That was one piece. But the bigger story was on this guy, who I didn't realize was going in that night. Gordon Too Much Jones from Pitt, wide receiver. Remember him? Of scored
I
2
vaguely do. Yeah.
You vaguely remember Gordon Jones?
Yeah.
How about Chipper?
Yes,
Tell me.
I do. Gordon, too much.
Too much Jones. How about Bob Junko, football coach? How about Mark Kelso? Played in the NFL football. How about Tim McConnell, basketball coach?
I know him.
I bypassed him to get right to Tyler Pelco,
Wow.
who went in, and his wife.
Is he white?
Yeah, and his wife looked like a supermodel. and
Thanks
and,
for that scouting report.
And last but not least, Mike Zemanek or whatever it is, the Aliquippa coach that went 0-10 for Ringgold. They only scored 1 touchdown all
Where's
year.
he coaching this year?
Seat in the cell.
Seat in the cell.
So, ooh, that's scary. But anyhow, that's the fiction back from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Talking about the game passing somebody by, huh?
Wow. Smoking Jim Frazier, you're out there, buddy.
He finally got to a Hall of Fame where he can now keep the people he wants out.
Yes.
They won't even realize you're keeping them out, Smoking Jim. You can just do it. They'll understand. They know how you are. They want you because
Well,
you're.
Big Cat Williams, he gonna get in?
No, never.
They'll find out what a good entertainer you are, Smoking Jim. They'll know that. Well, thank you very much for that, Smoking Jim Frazier.
All right, good evening, everybody. And once again, the last couple of Chips Trivias, I was talking about some of the feats in baseball that won't ever be repeated. And so I wanted to talk about some feats in baseball that are slightly more commonplace. And you know what? I have actually been witness to 2 of them in my lifetime.
Whoa.
No hitters.
Wow.
No hitters. So I'm going to go through a list. And, the list would just be extremely long and excruciatingly painful to go through if I went through everybody that threw a no-hitter.
Sure.
And, oh, by the way, Garrett Cole's name's not on the list.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. Oh, I guess you forgot that about that now, Jim.
But he's going to be in the Hall
I
of
don't know.
Fame.
Maybe he throws one tonight, right?
But he's going to be in the Hall of
All
Fame.
right. So I'm going to go through some pitchers to have thrown multiple no-hitters.
Whoa.
Okay? And throwing a no-hitter is a pretty uncommon feat on its own, and throwing more than one is even more rare. There are 35 pitchers who have thrown at least 2 no-hitters, including the postseason, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. Here's the list, starting with the pitcher whose no-hitter total stands alone. The Von Ryan Express. Wow. Nolan Ryan threw 7 of them. His first one was in 1973. He actually threw 2 in 1973. One in 1974, one in 75, 1981, and then it was 9 years before he threw another one.
Wow.
And another year before he threw his 7th. And whose record did Nolan Ryan break? Probably the greatest left-hander of my lifetime.
Yeah.
None other than Sandy Koufax.
Wow.
And if there was such a thing as Tommy John surgery back in the 60s, who knows what Sandy Koufax did. They called it tendonitis in his elbow.
Yeah,
Wasn't
he ended
that what
up
they
having
did?
arthritis.
And Sandy Koufax, not only did he throw 4 no-hitters, he threw 1 perfect game. 20, and Jim, so you know what a perfect game is. A no-hitter means you could walk a batter, you could hit a batter, but nobody gets a hit in the game. So you may face more than the 27 batter minimum. Well, a perfect game is 27 up, 27 down. Nobody reached base. That is correct. Sandy Koufax did that on September 9th, 1965. Next up on the list, Bob Feller. Bullet Bob Feller with the Cleveland Indians with 3. Next, the man who the best pitcher in the American League and the National League's awards are named after, so none other than Cy Young himself with 3. And he threw a perfect game. Next, Larry Corcoran with 3. And now we're going to get into some people that were actually active in the major leagues right now. Mike Fiers threw 1 this year, May 7th.
Never heard of it.
For the Oakland A's. Jake Arrieta has thrown 2 when he was playing for the Chicago Cubs.
I heard of him.
Max Scherzer. And if anybody remembers Max Scherzer, he's got Josh Bell to thank for breaking up his perfect game by leaning into a pitch and getting hit and getting first base.
Wow.
Next up, Tim Lincecum of the San Francisco Giants. Next up on the list is Homer Bailey. And yes, on September 28th, 2012, I was at this game, watched Homer Bailey no-hit the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros has thrown 2 while he pitched for the Detroit Tigers. Roy Halladay, may he rest in peace, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. He threw a postseason no-hitter and a perfect game.
Wow.
Mark Buehrle, who played for the Chicago White Sox, a perfect game. Randy Johnson, the big unit, threw a perfect game and another no-hitter. Hideo Nomo with 2 no-hitters. Bob Forsch, who had a brother that I believe may have thrown 1 as well. Steve Busby, Bill Stoneman, who pitched for the Montreal Expos. Ken Holtzman, Don Wilson, Jim Maloney, Jim Bunning, who threw a perfect game in the first game of a doubleheader in 1964. Warren Spahn, probably the second greatest left-hander in my lifetime. Carl Erskine, Virgil Trucks, who threw 2 in 1952. Allie Reynolds, Johnny Vandermeer. Do you remember we spoke about Johnny Vandermeer?
I remember it.
Johnny Vandermeer threw 2 consecutive no-hitters, June 11th, June 15th, 1938. Jim remembers it well. Dutch Leonard, Addie Joss, Frank Smith, Christy Matheson, another Hall of Famer. Theodore Breitenstein, Adonis Terry, Al Atkinson, and Pud Galvin, who threw both of his no-hitters before 1900.
Wow.
Did Archer ever throw 1, a no-hitter?
No. Was he? I told you I wasn't going to get into everybody that's thrown 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking about multiple
multiple.
no-hitters because multiple no-hitters is truly an accomplishment. I witnessed a no-hitter on July 15th, 1997 at Three Rivers Stadium, nonetheless, where Cordero and Rincon, it was a 10-inning no-hitter, and then I watched Homer Bailey. And who hit the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 10th for the Pirate win? Mark Smith.
Wow.
Another piece of useless
There's
information.
Some trivia.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because he really had a pretty
you have to
nondescript.
stay for those games like you do.
Well,
It had to be
when I
boring,
go to
though.
a baseball game, and I was at 2 games this weekend, I'm in my seat. Well, of course, I stand for the national anthem with my hand over my heart, and if I'm wearing a hat, I place my hat over my heart, and I pay respect to the flag. And I sit there and I watch from the first pitch to the last pitch.
No bathroom.
Well, when the cost of a glass of beer is $12, it's real easy not to have to get up and go to the bathroom.
The whole game.
Yeah.
Is that what they cost?
Oh,
for beer
12.
now?
A can of Iron City Light is $12, and I just sit there and shook my head. I was like, I used to get cases of Iron City for here for $12.
Wow.
And I sit there and sip. I don't care how good it was. It would just sour me to know that I paid $12 for a can of Iron City beer.
Well, let me ask you one question.
Okay.
Has
course,
there ever
Smoking.
been a black pitcher that pitched a no-hitter or a perfect game? I mean, not a double, but a single.
I'm absolutely certain. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And who that is right now, I'm thinking maybe J.R. Richard threw one for the Houston Astros
Oh, he may
back
have.
in the late 70s, early
he
80s.
was a great
That's a
pitcher.
maybe. That's a maybe, huh?
I would have to. I didn't research everybody that's
He doesn't
thrown a
put the
no-hitter.
color out like you
was
do.
just wondering.
Smoking Jim, you're so much into diversity that it's always about
Chipper
black.
said, Chipper
Here's
said he was
the
going
color. Here's the colors that I worry about. The ball is white. The stitches are red. Okay.
But you said you was going to ask us a question, and first thing that
He
jumped
didn't
in our
get to it
mind.
yet.
Yeah, he was supposed to do it now, right? Did you forget it?
Well, how do I put it?
forgetful
How do I
like
put it? Put it into my search engine and say, How many black people threw a no-hitter? Now, do you know how foolish that sounds? I'm looking for men that pitched no-hitters. Men. Baseball players. Color has nothing to do with it.
Well, where's the question? You said you was going to ask us a question, and the first thing that
Okay,
popped in
so
our
now,
mind-
here's our question.
All right.
I got a question for each of you. I
Okay.
want you to think of something.
Give me an easy one.
And they're going to cover 3 sports. It's going to cover hockey, baseball, and football. Okay? I
need Lil Z's help on
No,
this.
I want each of you to give me your Mount Rushmore for the Pirates, the Penguins, and the Steelers.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore said it's going to be 4 people. Okay. So who would be on your Mount Rushmore for the Pirates, the Penguins, and the
I'll
Steelers?
let Al go first.
I'll let him go first.
Do you want me to
Pirates,
go first?
Go ahead,
it would
you can
be
go first.
Hannes Wagner, Pie Trainer, Roberto Clemente, and Bill Mazeroski.
Okay. Steelers?
Steelers, Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham.
Okay. Penguins?
John Pronovo, Sil Apps,
Okay.
Barrasso, and Lemieux.
Okay.
Wow.
Go ahead.
For the Steelers,
I know a little sports, buddy.
Mount Rushmore for the Steelers would be Terry Bradshaw, Big Ben, Jack Lambert, and Mean Joe Green.
Okay.
For the Pirates, it would be Willie Stargell, Roberto Clemente. It would have to be Hannes Wagner
Okay.
and Andy Van Slyke.
Okay.
And for the Penguins, it'd be Yager,
Of course.
Crosby,
Uh-huh.
Malkin, and Lemieux.
Okay.
I did good.
Mine. No, mine.
good.
This is just to get how each of us view the sports.
Okay.
For the Pirates, I would have Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, Hannes Wagner, Danny Murtaugh.
Whoa.
The only manager that won 2 world championships was the
Yeah,
Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's a good point there.
Okay. Now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Joe Green, Franco Harris, Jack Lambert, and the architect, Chuck Noll.
Wow.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the Penguins, I'd have Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Levine, the talking machine. let me
Evgeny
down.
Malkin, and Marc-Andre Fleury.
He's the champ. The champ is here. The champ is here.
So there you go. That's my trivia. I just wanted to give these guys a shot at this. They didn't know what I was going to ask. I did this unsolicited, and I appreciate them for playing along. Thanks,
I had no
guys.
problem with
Thanks,
it.
guys. No, this was
watch a
not
lot
made.
of sports,
It's just,
so.
you know what, it's just different people's perspective on how they view each of the different sports. I knew Jim was going to say Yarmir Yager. I just knew it.
Oh, yeah, that's a given.
But I included coaches because
You did.
Chuck Noll,
I didn't put the coaches in.
look what he meant. But Danny Murtaugh. Now, if I would not have put Danny Murtaugh in, I would have probably replaced him with Bill Mazeroski.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys would have had a 5th Penguin, would Yager have made that?
I would have to give
I'd
that
put
some
Crosby in mine then.
Yeah.
I would have added Crosby.
See, here's what the thing is. Yager didn't begin his career and end his career as the team. See, he was a sellout because he had gambling debts to pay off. Because remember what he
Like
said
you
when
can
he
relate
left,
to that.
I'm dying in here because his bookmakers were knocking on his door and they couldn't pay. He couldn't make enough money to
Sure.
pay them off.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Sort of like you, smoking.
Yeah,
That's
he
why you get
He's
along.
about as good at betting on basketball as you were.
Yeah. And at the tables. He was losing
Okay.
at the tables.
moving forward, Alan.
Thank you.
You're up.
Thank you, Chip Hayner. All right, on location, we have the Pittsburgh Sportsline Hall of Fame, July 8th. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Smoking Jim already tipped off 3 ladies are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. We may have a 4th with Rick Steigerwald, we don't know. But he said 10 are coming in this year. So we'll see what he comes up with, but it should be a great show. Come on out. They have all kind of specials at Olive Oil's Pizzeria. You You can enjoy the great food and hear Smoking Jim Frazier and Dan Bogan, I assume again, will be announcing the names. So it should be a fun show. July 15th, we'll be at the Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. It's in Main Street, Sharpsburg, 7:30 to 8:30, July 15th. So check it out. We already got guests lined up. I got one guy, Paul Kennedy, wrote the book on Billy Conn. He's going to be there. Another guy, Ernie Keegan, Smoking Jim's buddy, wrote a book. He's going to be there. Tom Liturgy, the KSWA announcer, he'll be there. Joe Board's Boxing Gym, they'll be there. And maybe we'll even have another guest or two, but that's our lineup for July 15th. Then we're doing a special show, Arnold's Tea, 402 East Ohio Street, July 27th. Check it out. It'll be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon show. Come on out for some green tea. They got great coffee, great tea. They got food there. Arnold's Tea. It's a couple blocks away from the Park House where we did shows there. I have the lady that was in charge of the Pittsburgh Marathon the last 11 years, Patrice. Her daughter's going to be on there, and a guy taking over for the Pittsburgh Marathon since this was her last year. Troy's going to be there, so I got 3 guests lined up with more coming. So check it out. That's the 27th of July for On Location. And that's all I got for you. We'll be back with some Bucko Talk. Buccos are on a winning streak now, Chip.
Yeah, they've won 6 of their last 8 games.
Wow.
They're on a 4-game winning streak after a successful sweep of the San Diego Padres.
Who were a good team when they came in.
Well, the Padres are probably one of the best hitting teams in the league. And just the previous weekend, in a 4-game series against the Oakland A's, the Padres and the A's combined scored 95 runs in 4 games.
You better explain that to Smoking Jim.
That's a combined score of both teams.
I don't believe that.
There was a game, one game was 14-12, one game was 14-13. I think the lowest scoring game was 7-2.
That don't add
but
up to 90.
the San Diego Padres are a team that have 5 batters in their starting lineup that have double digits in home runs.
Wow.
You know, they're a team that attacks the pitching. They like to swing at first pitches, and they hit the ball hard. And I will tell you this, they hit the ball hard in the games against the Pirates this past weekend. A lot of times they hit them right at people.
Yeah, we were lucky like that.
And the Pirates handily beat them, and, you know, the $30 million third baseman that the Padres had played a role in each and every one of the losses by coming up with a critical error at the wrong time.
Didn't he have 2 in 1 inning or something?
2-on-1 play.
Yeah.
That led to
I
the
remember
game-winning
that.
run.
Can I ask one
Right.
quick question?
Sure.
No.
There was one game I was watching. The Pirates were down 7-1, and they came back and won.
Yes,
Who
that was
that
against the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit,
That was Trevor Williams' first start back from injury. And what that game showed me was in the first 3 innings, Trevor Williams gave up 7 runs. He pitched for 3 more innings and put up zeros, and the Pirates came back and won that game 8-7. And what that showed me that you got a Pirate team here. You've got a bunch of guys that believe in one another, and there is no quit in this team. They didn't give up. They didn't start pointing fingers at each other.
He ended up with 7 strikeouts.
Trevor started getting his groove back as the game was going on. Now tonight be an interesting game at 8:10. We've got the Houston Astros and the Pittsburgh Pirates in Houston, Minute Maid Park, and Trevor Williams will be battling against Garrett Cole. And this will be Garrett Cole's first time against the Pirates since he was traded. And I think it promises to be a good game because the Astros have one of the best teams in the American League. And, and the Pirates are no slouches. The record is 36-40 right now. And, the Pirates heard some disheartening news just in the last couple of days. It doesn't look like the Pirates are going to see Jameson Taillon pitch for them again this year. He's having problems with his forearm. They're going to continue to try therapy and rehab in lieu of surgery. He's already had Tommy John surgery. Jordan Lyles had a successful rehab start for Indianapolis the other night. So we're going to have 4 of our top 5 starters back shortly. Stephen Brault has earned himself a position as the number 5 starter and has been pitching well the last 4 or 5 outings. So the Pirates,
he's even hitting and scoring a run.
well, it's interesting because Stephen Brault was a senior in high school, and Joe Musgrove was a junior, and they played on the same high school baseball team.
Really?
And Stephen Brault was talking about how much an incredible athlete Joe Musgrove is, and how whatever he sets his mind to doing, he can become good at. Joe Musgrove is a good hitting pitcher.
Sure.
Stephen Brault is a good hitting pitcher. When I was watching the game Friday night, Jung Ho Gong hit a double with the score tied 1-1 in the 8th inning, and Clint Hurdle pulled Jung Ho Gong out of the game, who had a little bit of an attitude about it,
Sure.
and put in Stephen Brault as a pinch runner. And Stephen Brault scored on a base hit because he's faster a foot than Jung Ho Gong.
Yeah.
And that was ultimately the game-winning run. We brought in Vasquez, and he nailed down the win with a 2-1 win.
And how about a little side note on Stephen Brault? I go to a show at the Clemente Museum.
Yes, I
Jessica
saw that.
Lee's singing.
I saw that.
And who's a picture? There's a guy at the door named Luke, and there's another guy wearing a hat, Stephen Brault. And I go, what's your name? And he goes, Stephen Brault. I go, I know who you are. I didn't recognize you with the hat down on his forehead.
Right, he was
'Cause,
incognito.
Yeah, but he goes to the Clemente Museum, and they have a bar next door all the time.
He plays for
Very
the Kings.
nice guy. He's,
He's
a
one
pirate
of a starting
pitcher.
pitcher. Now, here's what the
Pirate
thing is
pitcher.
with the Pirates. Right now, the Pirates do have a good 25-man roster. They've got a lot of players. There's a lot of diversity there.
Sure.
They've got Kevin Newman is showing why he was a number 1 draft pick. He's batting over 300. He's playing a good job at shortstop. He's batting and playing so well that they sent Cole Tucker back down to the Indianapolis Indians. And Cole Tucker may be a better defensive player, but the bat is what put Newman in the lineup.
He's got nicer hair and a great arm.
Colin Moran has earned the starting third baseman's position.
With his
and
hitting.
he's hit over 10 home runs. He's got over 40 RBIs. He's playing real well. Adam Frazier looks like he's starting to get his swing back.
Yeah.
Josh Bell is
Producing.
is still hitting the ball all over the place. And we've got 5 outfielders that are
You didn't
rotating the
even mention
position.
Reynolds.
Well, I was going to mention Brian Reynolds because Brian Reynolds was slated to be the starting left fielder tonight with Melky Cabrera in
Too
right.
little. Too
No,
little.
Melky Cabrera was going to be the designated hitter.
Yeah.
So what they did was they put Jose Ozuna as first base because Brian Reynolds is sitting out with a bruised shin.
Too little.
Okay, probably fouled a ball off of his so he's going to be out for a day or two. So they put Melky Cabrera in right. They moved Corey Dickinson into left.
Yeah.
And Starling Marte in center, and they moved Jose Osuna, who hit a
Who's been
pinch
hitting.
hit 2-run homer to give
Yeah.
the Pirates the lead on Saturday night. And I'll tell you this about the Pirates. Right now, they as a team, they are batting, I believe, .321 as pinch
No, their
hitters.
offense has come through.
They're the best pinch hitting team in baseball, and
Yeah.
they're getting production from also. I can tell you this: this Pirate team, and I've watched a lot of Pirate teams over the years, and I watch a lot of baseball, Jim. So you're going to have to mark my words on this one. This
He'll take
team
notes.
is going to make some noise as the season progresses. When the starting rotation starts working it, you get Lyles back into the rotation. Musgrove was real solid on Friday night.
Yeah.
Chris Archer, they've got to find a way to get him out of the 5th inning. Here's a guy who's got incredible stuff, and I heard Jim Leland say this in an interview last week. He thinks part of the problem with Chris Archer is he's so in love with his stuff,
Yeah.
he's trying to strike everybody out. And it's not necessary that you do that. You need to trust the fielders around you.
Right.
And it's all about not how fast you pitch or how good your stuff is. It's where you're putting the ball so that if they do get the bat on it, they're not putting it in the seats. And what's ended up happening to him is he's making a mistake, and every time he makes a mistake, somebody hits it into the seats.
knocking
Is he
it
still
out.
leading baseball in home runs?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Just like Cole used to do it here and
But
led in home runs.
Here's what, Jim. He's leading the league in home runs. He gave up 1 earned run on Saturday night.
Amen.
I will take that out of a starting pitcher every day of the week. So,
Well, don't get your hopes up on Brian Reynolds. He's too small. He's going to break your heart down the road. It's just too.
Now, Brian Reynolds is batting
He's too
almost
small.
360. He is a complete ball player. He can play any of the
He even has
outfield
a good arm.
positions. He's got a good arm.
Too small.
Yeah.
Where do you get that at?
He's hurt now, isn't he?
Well, mark my words. National League Rookie of the Year. You heard it here.
But there's a lot of people that was on your list that you read earlier that never made it to the Hall of Fame because they washed out. He's too small, too lean. He won't make it 2-3 years.
Okay. Maybe Austin Meadows, huh?
What's he doing?
Let's talk about what he's done in the month of June.
What's he doing?
His average went from 350 down to 304. Okay.
I'll take 304.
He sold out. Smoking Jim sold out.
Will you
But,
take 304?
But anyhow,
No.
so right now,
Because it was 350.
Pirates have a stretch of 13 games in 13 days, and it's all against teams with winning records. We've got 3 in Houston. We've got 3 in Milwaukee. Then we come back here to Pittsburgh for another 7-game set.
Yeah.
And then we get the All-Star break. So actually, of the next 26 games that the Pirates will play, they're all against teams with winning records. And what the Pirates need to do is they need to start showing what they can do against the better teams. Right now, the Pirates have a much better record playing teams with a losing record than they do with teams with a winning record. And this is something that they're playing very solidly defensively. And their offense is what's been carrying the team for at least the last
it's been
6
shining,
weeks.
Yeah.
And the pitching is starting to come around. Richard Rodriguez has now thrown 9 scoreless innings. Wow. Kyle Crick, he gets himself into trouble, but I tell you what, he gets out of it. He's a good 8th-inning setup man. Felipe Vasquez, arguably the best closer in baseball.
Yeah, he is.
You go into the 9th inning with a lead with him. There's been one time this year where he's given up the lead in the 9th inning, and we actually won that game.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of things to like about this team. Hey, there's still a lot of baseball left to play, and we're
Smoking
going to
Jim's amazed that they have the record they do right now.
What is it?
36 and 40. 36 and 40. And last week you were
32.
laughing about them and their 7-game losing streak,
Yeah.
but yet they've turned it around once
sure
again.
did.
He didn't say a word about that.
Cost me money when they were down 7-1 and they came back. I was at the casino.
Glad to hear it.
But you know what? The teams are. It's a lot of the game on Sunday was probably one of the and I didn't get a chance to watch much of it. I was listening on the radio. I was out busy working because some of us have to work for a living. And all I saw was the 10th, the
Last inning.
the last inning. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the most exciting games to come back from 3 runs down in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game, to come back with score 4 runs in the bottom of the 11th, and we got a walk to win the game.
Wow. They walked in the runner.
They
Smoking
walked
Jim.
in the runner,
Really?
and
lost
nobody
the
hit
game.
the ball. And Kevin Newman got credit for the RBI because he was the batter. But I mean, I'm telling you what, there's no quitting this team, and they are a team, and I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I'll be there again on July the 3rd. We got the Cubs. I'll be in the Pittsburgh baseball club section.
Whoa, look out, buddy.
Going to try the eats and where the
Are you?
different food available there than the other places.
Nice.
Well, no way they can ever catch Milwaukee. So,
Well, we're only 5.5 games out of first place, Jim. That's not an insurmountable lead.
but you got to play Milwaukee.
That's all right. Then that's where we make up our ground.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the
No,
end.
we're done. We got about 22 seconds. Thanks for watching our show. We're glad we could provide some entertainment. Special thanks to Smoking Jim Frazier for the birthday cake. It is my birthday on Sunday. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chip Painter. Thanks to Zach, Jack in here, and stay Joey strong.